The Legends in the Mist RPG is here, and it does so many different things so well. If you're not in the loop, Legends in the Mist was crowned one of the most anticipated RPGs releases of 2025. It is created by Son of All Game Studios, and this RPG, it evolves the City of the Mist system into a new, streamlined engine that is incredible in its simplicity and storytelling capabilities. It is a fantasy RPG that leans into what they call rustic fantasy, or small people fantasy. It is the magic in small things, like the smell of pine in the woods, or the rough sword hilt the apprentice wrapped himself. But the thing that caught my eye the most while reading through the book was the masterclass in character advancement its rules allows. It trades like traditional levels for a system where your character grows through changing their very nature, their core themes. It is brilliant. Come here, let me show you. A character in Legends in the Mist usually looks like this. The character is defined by 4 themes chosen by the player, each theme with beneficial tags and detrimental ones. Also, each theme grants its own quest. The quest can be either a real task or a goal, or just a character worldview or moral compass that theme entails. Oh, and character advancement in this game? Watch this, it's brilliant. It involves you doing 3 different things. First, evoking your detrimental tag, so growing by committing mistakes. Also, doing actions that advance your quest, or doing actions that are detrimental to your quest. You see that little abandon, improvement, and milestone over there? You mark those each time you do one of this. So, each time you do something detrimental to your quest, you mark an abandon. Each time you evoke a detrimental tag, you mark improve. And each time you advance your quest, you mark a milestone. Whenever you complete one of those, your theme changes. 3 improves means you can add more tags to your theme, expanding it. 3 milestones means that your theme evolves into a greater one, raising its scope. And 3 abandons means that you need to substitute your theme for a new one. The advancement in Legends in the Mist is so groundbreaking because it turns the classic story structure into game mechanics. It gives you paths that directly mirror how literary characters change. The improve mechanic rewards you for using your detrimental tag. This is your role playing your character's flaw. It's how you explore your character's core problem. And the milestone and abandon mechanic can work to create different character arcs. Sometimes advancing in a quest would mean chasing your character's external want and ignoring their internal need. Sometimes abandoning a quest would be chasing this internal need and creating character conflict. Also, having different quests can mean your character have different paths to grow. This is how arcs are written at the table. Legends in the Mist provides you a powerful framework that turns your choices into genuine story and transformation. But how can you use these tools in other games? You see, Legends in the Mist system is built in to their character sheet. But what if we could make one that could be plugged into your favorite RPG? Maybe your friends all only play Pathfinder, and you wish you could add a system for your character's emotional growth, as well as your sword attack. Well, I think we can come up with something. Okay, I present to you all the Character Arc Sheet Tracker. This is a 1-page PDF that is system agnostic and ready for players. Okay, since this is system agnostic, I'm gonna go one step further than Legends of the Mist did, and I'm gonna use the actual terminology writers use. Okay, so let's dive into a little course about character arc, shall we? Okay, first, the main thing in this sheet is the lie. And it's not just any lie, it is the lie your character believes. Every great arc begins with a flaw. But it's not just clumsy or bad with money. We're talking about a core misunderstanding about the world, the people in it, or the characters themselves. Writers call this the lie your characters believe. It is a warped worldview, often born from a past event that drives negative behavior. You can use mechanical things in your sheet to represent the thing they believe in. Let's use, for example, the stats in the sheet. Most RPGs will have like physical and mental stats, so let's use those. A character with high strength could believe in something, for example, like might makes right, or that my strength can only hurt, never protect. Meanwhile, a character with low strength might believe in things like I'm not good enough to be here, or the world is too dangerous to me. A character with high charisma may believe a lie like I must always be perfect to be accepted, while a character with low wisdom can think that people will always lie to me, and a high intelligence character might believe that I'm always right. If your character is known for rolling low, or the RPG you're playing have a luck stat, maybe your character lie could be something like good things only happen to other people, or I have no control over my life. Like, let's have some pop culture examples, shall we? Buzz Lightyear for example, he believes himself to be a real person and not a toy. This is a lie they believe in. Walter White believes that money, at any cost, will save his family. And Thanos from the MCU. He thought that erasing half of the universe would save it. Also on the MCU, T'Challa, the Black Panther. He thought that protectionism was the only way he could protect his people. So those are all lies the characters believe. And this lie is the foundation for their identity crisis. It is the thing the story will challenge, push, and try to break. I'm not gonna go too deep into detail on this one, mostly because I'm taking a lot of things from the famous YouTuber Pointy Hat. You should check this video after this one. His free method pillar is incredible, and I use it like every time I need to build a new player character for a campaign. But I'm gonna add like my 5 cents of opinion for this one. So, I want you to make your goal and your want to be informed by your lie. This is the external, tangible thing they believe will solve their problems and validate their lie. If your character believes that power is safety, their want might be to usurp the current clan leader. If they believe that trust is a weakness, their want might be to acquire a legendary artifact, so they never have to rely on anyone again. The want is your character's engine for plot. It gives them a reason to act, to go on adventures, and to interact with the party. But there's a secret. Achieving the want may not fix their problem. Pursuing the want mostly reinforces the lie, dragging them deeper and deeper into their own flawed logic. Okay, this one could also be a part of Pointy Hat's 3-pillar method, but I have a twist for this one, watch out. As I said before, the lie informs every part of your sheet. And this is also the case for your conflict, your contradiction. Since you don't know how the story will end, you don't need to decide how your character arc will conclude. Instead, we're gonna build a contradiction for it. A contradiction is a value, a relationship, or a trait your character possesses that is in direct conflict, in direct opposition to the lie. It is the seed of potential change, the one thing that makes their lie feel like a lie. If your character lie is something like, power is the only true safety, then his contradiction could be like a fierce loyalty they display towards a childhood friend, whom they would sacrifice anything for. Or maybe they have a lie like, bonding with others is a weakness. And the contradiction is that they secretly craft small gifts for their fellow adventurers when they think nobody's looking. This contradiction is the storytelling gold. It creates an internal conflict, one that only you, the player, can resolve through your choices. Who will scream louder, your lie or your contradiction? This looks to be almost the same thing as the lie, but I wanted to have them as different things in the sheet, for something I'll show you later. As I said before in the lie part of the video, the lie is what drives your character's behavior. And this, the flaw, this is your behavior. This is the thing you write down and roleplay as a flaw for your character during the game. For example, if your lie is, my character believes that money is the only thing that can guarantee safety, then you can have your flaw be something like, my character is a cheapskate that will always go for the loot. Or if your lie is something like, my character believes that trusting others is a weakness and will only lead to betrayal, You can roleplay that lie with the flaw of, I'll always roll insight against every NPC and I'll never split from the party. This behavior can and will change, for worse and for the better, during the course of the game. Need. This is the end goal. You won't be filling this in session 0. Have this open to be filled after a few sessions or a few arcs. Depends on the scope and duration of your campaign. The need is an internal truth your character must realize to overcome their lie. They discover this truth through confronting their conflict between their goal and their contradiction. Once a character embraces their need, they can finally reject their lie, which in turn resolves their flaw. Or they might reject their need and fully embrace the lie. If the lie is, I must be feared to be respected, the need is to learn that true respect comes from love and loyalty, not fear. A truth they discover through their contradiction, like protecting their sibling. To write a great need, consider the campaign you're playing. What are the campaign themes? What universal truths and lessons the VM and the other players are exploring in this game? Also, identify your character's own conflict. You have your lie, you have your contradiction, now think of resolving it. What does he need to overcome the lie? For all I can say, the biggest input you will have to write your need will be the campaign itself. You will learn the need as your character does during the course of the campaign. Okay, now let's use this to create an arc. In an RPG, you don't decide the type of arc at the start. You discover it through play. And I'll give you the mechanics for that, okay? First, during play, the lie your character believes will be either challenged or reaffirmed. Whenever your lie is challenged, you're gonna mark a point in contradiction. Whenever the lie is reaffirmed, you're gonna mark a point in your goal. What do these points do? We got 4 of them on each. It's a total arbitrary number, but 4 is a good scale you humans can understand. There's 2 other things that will feed into your goal and contradiction. Whenever your character choices advance your goal, you mark a point there. Whenever it hinders your goal, you erase a mark there. Same thing for contradiction. Whenever you feed on that contradiction, you mark an advancement. Whenever you betray your contradiction, you erase one. Whenever you have 4 points on either your contradiction or your goal, you can change or evolve them. Then you gotta mark something to your flaw. If you got 4 contradictions, you gotta mark 1 ease to your flaw. If you got 4 to your goal, you gotta mark 1 worsen to your flaw. And you gotta erase all the points you had on the one you marked. For example, if you mark all of your goals, you're gonna evolve your goal, you gotta worsen your flaw, and you're gonna erase your goal markers. Same thing with contradiction. Okay, so let's focus on the flaw. Easen drives your flaw away from the lie, while worsen makes your lie closer and closer. Whenever you mark something to the flaw, you can change it to respond accordingly. And then, when ease reaches 3 marks, you're gonna write down a need and erase your lie. And when worsen reaches 3 marks, you're gonna write down a need and erase your contradiction. This is the conclusion of your character arc. Finally figuring out what your character's need is and choosing to either strive towards it or renounce it and embrace the lie. This system is not fully done yet. It is pretty good for a short campaign of 5 to 7 sessions. But if you are running something shorter, you may want to mark 2 instead of marking 1 whenever you're going to mark something. But if you want to roll for something longer, try give your flaws like 5 points of ease and worsen, instead of 3. This is something I want to revisit later down the line, but as of right now, it is perfectly capable of creating arcs, and I'll show you the type of arcs it can create. There are generally 2 different types of arcs. A positive arc, which happens when your character is forced to choose between their goal and their contradiction, and they choose the contradiction. They learn their flaw was wrong, and they realize they didn't want power. They needed the connection their friends provided all along. This is represented by your flaw being challenged and your character acting towards their contradiction. And the negative arc, which is the opposite. They sacrifice their contradiction to achieve their goal. They become the clan leader, but they lost their friends in the process, fully embracing the lie that power is all that matters. They get what they want, but they lose what they needed. This is represented by your flaw being reaffirmed and your character acting towards their goal over the contradiction. This is how your character becomes a legend, not by gaining XP, but by changing or refusing to change in face of impossible choices. So when you sit down to write your next character arc, don't just think about what they can do, think about what they believe, what they want, and the one beautiful contradiction that makes them human. And don't forget to check the description to get yourself the system agnostic character arc sheet. It is a free, fully fillable PDF to help you build your character arc for your next RPG character. Hey, and what is the most compelling character arc you've ever played or seen played at the table? Let us know down in the comments.